Hey everybody, it is exactly 6 o'clock. I'm gonna wait a few minutes, trying to find something to prop us up on. Let's see. I guess I should have did like a little call out or whatever, but I didn't. Oh, let's try this. We're gonna be low for just a second. I bought a new tripod stand, but I haven't tried it out. And what I will do, I'm going to just go ahead and start a little bit. So, what I usually do whenever I have either group calls or client calls is I come on for 10 minutes. If somebody's late, past 10 minutes, then what I do is we just have to reschedule. And I'm going to put this on top of my laptop and hope I don't need it. Oh, that's better. So I'm going to, it's a minute. I will get to the 5 minute mark to get going. So what is going on? First of all, this is Dana with essenceofme.com and the Freedom Please channel. And as you may or may not know, my channel is really about hobbies. So I have crafting, which includes knitting, crochet, quilting, and I am a published author with an indie publishing company. You can go to purposeprevailspublishing.com. In the description box, you will also see links to my books. So anything that you can purchase or will purchase, please purchase my books. I write romantic suspense, and I also have contemporary romance novels coming out, and so you can see those there. But on this channel, I have always loved sharing new crafts, sharing what I'm doing, and most of all, sharing like the love of actually getting in there, learning something new. And I think that really, not even I think, I know that that's at the heart of a craft along, because a lot of times, if you don't go to local classes, well, then can be isolating as far as crafting goes. If you don't know anyone else, then how do you learn new skills? How do you try new patterns? How do you do new things? Well, we come on YouTube. And therefore, that's, the essence of my channel. And so I am in my open area, so you may see my family go by, but that's normal because it is Sunday. And so, yeah, I'm going to jump in. How many minutes? I have 2 more minutes, and I don't see... I want to show you all what I have, but if I do that, it'll be hard. I'm still trying to figure out this whole setup, but yeah. Do I have any questions? Hold on. I'm figuring everything out. We got a couple minutes before okay. There. And I guess I should have did a reminder, but I'm not. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm 1 minute early, but I'm going to get started and kind of go over everything. And if you have any of like the basic understanding what's going on, go back to the video before, and I'll try my best to add the annotations here. Okay, I'm going to try one more move, because if I can get this eye level without having to really worry, but it's so dark and it's storming, so our connection is really bad. Oh, that'll make it too high. Y'all, I'm getting it. I'm trying. Oh, what about right here? No, that's too high. I guess I just gotta leave it where it is. So let me just get into this, and then if I don't see anybody that comes on now, I can be out, because I need to finish dinner. I put on dinner already. Hold on. I know. I'm gonna do better, I promise. Okay. So the craft along, you choose your craft. It's going to be quilting, knitting, or crochet. We are going to start this month, which is the month of June 2017. And then we're going to meet every first Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for the next 5 months. So that'll be June, July, August, September, October, till the month of October. And then in November is when we will talk about the next phase after we do this. Now you should be doing this with your mindset on that you're going to give away what you make, because we're calling this Christmas in July because it's really meant to be for a Christmas swap. Okay, so you select your craft. Now, as a small recap, some of the things that I told you to do is get your beginning supplies, and also to get, and you will hear my puppy too. You're gonna get your you need it to get your beginning supplies, which is if you're crocheting or knitting, would be either your hook or your needles, your yarn. And then for if you're sewing / quilting, you will need to get your fabric, of course your thread. And for everybody, I'm suggesting that you get some sort of stitch dictionary, and I want to show you a couple of examples before we get into this month's topic. So here's one that I showed before, which is a stitch dictionary for knitting, and it's called Up, Down, Around, and I showed this a long time ago in a haul. One for crochet. This is an old one, but I have another several of them, but it's an encyclopedia of crochet. And I have this one has a lot of the basic ones, which is just really nice, but this is an example for crochet. And one that I have for quilting is this. It's the rotary cut quilt blocks, Judy Hopkins, and it's 501. And what I really love about this particular one, which a lot of them are pretty much the same, is that this book actually shows the finished size of 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, and 12-inch blocks. So this is really good. It's a little bit pricey, but I think it's worth it. So get your book. Once you get your book, you decide your craft, you get your book. Now, the next thing that we need to do is kind of just now talk about the logistics. You're going to basically need somewhere between anywhere between 4 and 8 different patterns. And what I would suggest is you get either some Post-it notes or you get some index cards and go through your book and identify 4 to 8 different patterns. Now, I'm going to give you some ideas of how many you may need in just a second, but I'm thinking 4 to 8. Now, listen, when you go through, don't try to find something that may be super complicated that may make you pull your hair out. Like things like maybe, like I'm going to show you one that will make me want to pull out my hair. But something with like cables or, like as an example, something like that. That's super complicated. Okay. What I would suggest you maybe find if you're new is something that looks nice, but that may be somewhat complicated yet easy, like that. Okay? And it goes for everything. Like, you know your skill level. Maybe look for, if you're in the beginners, you may want to look for some of the beginning stitches. If you're somebody that's advanced and you want to try something different, then move up the spectrum. So you're going to pick out 4 to 8 different patterns. And once you pick out those 4 to 8 different patterns, I want you to identify them. So you either need to write them down, maybe in your phone, or put Post-it notes. Like what I've done is I've put Post-it tabs on there so I'll know which ones they are. And so you need to mark them. After you mark your patterns, then what you need to do is identify the very first pattern that you want to start with. And this is going to be for everybody. Now, for quilting, I'm going to start with that first because it's really easy. You would need to be looking for anywhere between a 6-inch finish block through a 12-inch finish block. Okay, so 6 to 12. Now, depending on which size you choose, it will determine how many blocks you need to complete. So let's say, for example, you do a 6-inch block. If you do a 6-inch block, then that means I'm guesstimating you'll need about 6 finished blocks at the end of everything. Because if you're doing either that'll give you a length of about 36 inches. Okay. Now, crochet and knit, you're not far off, because if you do, once you can either do it as a ongoing, a continuous piece, which means you want to cast on enough for about, or chain enough for either, I would say roughly between the same 6 to 12 inches, and it's up to you if you want to do something the depth being very shallow, about 6 inches, which would give you a great scarf length, or up to 12 inches, which if you're doing a cowl, that'll give you a nice good depth. Okay, and so again, you would need somewhere between that about, if you did 6-inch width, then you're going to need about 6 different patterns, and that means you would have to complete 6-inch blocks. And listen, does this have to be perfect? No. And that's the good thing about doing it. If you decide to do it in blocks, you just want it so that the finished size of each one of the blocks is about the same, so that when you sew them together, you will have a consistent sizing. And we can also talk about how you can kind of do a little bit of finishing to bring everything together towards the end if it's necessary. It's stormy. Okay, so you have your patterns, you have your sizing. So to really get started, and that's if you want to do those 4 to 6 different patterns, right? Worst case scenario, you want to be very, very simple. And if you want to be very, very simple, then you just cast on, and you just cast on the depth, which could be anywhere from, like, I'd say maybe 20 to 30 stitches, and just build from there, and either chain or cast on and just build from there. And that could be your width, and you continue until you finish the length that you want. And that way you wouldn't have to join blocks. You can just do your repeat according to the pattern until you finish about 6 inches or so, and or 9 inches or 12 inches. And once you finish that, then you can transition into the next pattern, and you would just pick that, and you do 1 pattern a month. I hope this makes sense. If it doesn't, put a comment on the comment down below, and I can explain it again. I just don't want this video to be really long, and I want you to have time to get started. So pick your stitches, and then select 1 for this month. And all you want to do is you want to do somewhere between that 6 to 12 inches. So you either do a 6 to 12 inch block, or you cast on or do your chain and go for 6 inches or 12 inches. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's going to be it for month 1, the first month. Pick a pattern, work that pattern, and you decide how long. 6, 12. Now, the thing that I do want to talk about for my crocheters and my knitters is the pattern repeats. And I'm going to look at one so that it'll help me. And I guess this will be also another thing. I pulled this out. So 6 inches would be about this long, right? 12 is here. So look at, like, if you had something that's 12 inches and it was a cowl, look how thick it would be. And it would actually have a little bit of drape to it. If you did 6 inches, that'd be still a nice one, but it'll be kind of thin, you know? It'll be a great scarf though. Now, on to your repeats. Whenever you look at a pattern, a repeat is when you start the designated pattern to when the pattern is complete, and that's 1 repeat. When you look at your so you need to pay attention to your repeat, and pay attention to like how, so the repeat may take you that 12 inches. Some repeats may be really short, like 4 inches. So if you're doing you want to do a 12-inch depth, then you would do 3 repeats, right? Because everyone will be 4, 4, 8, 12 inches, right? Another thing to be mindful of is when you look at your pattern, how many stitches that pattern requires. Every pattern does not require the same number of stitches. So let's say I'm looking at a pattern right now and it's 16 stitches. And let's say that means I may want to do start off by casting 32 stitches, so that it would be two repeats wide, and then I would decide as I go on how many repeats high that I would want to do. Lastly, and really, across would be your multiples. So that'll be, if it's 16 stitches, you would do 32 stitches, for example, to get the width. And then the repeats would be the rows. And let's say this one, here's a great example. There's multiples of 12. So that means when you cast on for this particular thing, you would do it in sets of 12. So that means if you want to cast on, you would have to do 12, 24, 36 stitches. But then for the repeat, it is a 14 row repeat. So that 14 rows, maybe, they don't say what the finished size is, but looking at this, it looks like it's maybe 3 or 4 inches. No, it looks like it's about 12. So you would just finish, and you want to make sure that when you do it, that you finish a repeat, and that'll make sure that your pattern is intact. And once you finish that pattern, you may want to do like 2 plain rows of either for knitting of knit stitch, and then for crochet of single crochets or double crochets, so that you can separate the patterns from the other. Now this means that as you build, when you look at your stitches, you are going to want to make sure that they kind of gel. That's why you want to take some time going through. You don't want to maybe have something lacy and then have, well, that may be kind of cute, columns, and then something lacy again. But to me, that would help balance it out, right? I may do, you do 12 inches and then you do something lacy, then you do some sort of columns in the middle, and then you do lacy again, and that would kind of break it up. Or you may want to just do this whole thing, the same thing all the way through. So it'll be good to see kind of what you all choose. Repeats, patterns. I think that's all I want to do, because I feel like that is a lot. And since I don't see anybody here with me, I don't want to confuse anybody since I can't take questions. So we'll start there. I'm going to end this by letting you know that on essenceofme.com, go to the blog. And when you go to the blog, I have a post. And on that post, it has everywhere that I'm asking you to go and follow. There is the my blog, and there's also the Facebook fan page, and I created a fan an Essence of Me Rockstar group, and the group is where you will be able to post your pictures and share your progress. And if you're not on Facebook, then you can go to Essence of Me and go to my contact page and email me from there, and I'll reply. And once I reply, you can actually respond and put, send any pictures, and I can share those. But go there, make sure that you follow, that you join, and from there we'll be able to kind of interact with each other. What else? I think that is it. Okay? Any comments, put them in the comment section below. I've already said, y'all, if we get too quiet and people don't join, or we don't have enough, then I will just follow through with the people that join, and I won't do the live videos because I don't want to take out a lot of time and people are not following along. But if you have any questions, I'm here, because I think this will be a really good way to build up your skill set and to have fun doing it. So before I go, I want to leave you all with a little something today. The sermon, well, and if this all, the crafting part is done, follow me, like the video, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to notifications, and don't forget to go and join. The main place would be to join the group on Facebook, because in that way you can share pictures if you're on Facebook. If it's enough people that ask for Ravelry, I will create a group there. But Facebook just seems easier because I'm always there for work or for clients and stuff like that, and it's just easier. Today, the sermon at church was pretty interesting, but it made me think of something. It was based in the book of Esther. And one of the things, I guess I could tell I'm not going to tell the whole story, in the book of Esther. And one particular part of the story was when Mordecai goes to Esther and he asks her to go before her husband, the king, to speak on the behalf of the people. And she was scared, essentially, because she had not been summoned by the king. And if she did, it could be fatal for her to go before him and him not call her. And one of the things that Mordecai told her was, it stood out to me because I heard it before. Because I've read Esther a million times, but I guess it just stood out. And it was when Mordecai told her, relief for the people will come. It will come, whether you do what I'm asking you to do or not. But what will the consequence be to you and your family now if you do not act? And he didn't say it that way. So this is totally me paraphrasing. But I want to kind of translate it again in what it said to me. Is that if we're called to do something, we're called because there's something within our skill set, in our gifts, in our talents that we have that can benefit other people and that can help other people. And that means that there's some sort of relief or aid or assistance that through you others can acquire. But if you look at that story, I think a takeaway is that relief will come one way or another. When you're given this call, it's because you're being offered or extended this invitation to partake in that experience. But the relief to whoever needs that will come. But you would miss out on the opportunity of being a part of that experience. And I thought that was amazing. I'm going to say that one more time. And I'm going to just put it in language for us, right? We have a skill, talent, or an ability that others are waiting for. And if we don't choose to stand up in that talent, that skill, or an ability to share with others, they will get it one way or the other, whether you do it or not. However, you or I will miss out on the opportunity to partake of that experience, to know what it's like to give of ourselves, to give of our skill, to give of our ability, and to be a part of that give and take process with whomever is waiting on us. And I think that's huge because it's like, how would it affect our family? How would it affect our immediate lives? How would it affect our future if we choose to opt out of moving when God says move? The aid will come to whoever God feels and deems needs it, but we would miss out on that opportunity. That's crazy, right? And amazing at the same time. And so what that says to me, I really hate that I don't know where to look. I'm so bad. And I really probably should look here. And it feels so weird because I see my face here. But what I really think that means for each of us is if you are feeling the urge to do it, do it. Don't wait. Because when you wait, only you lose, not anyone else. You're the only one that loses in that place. And so tell me what you're going to do with it. Like if you feel like there's something you need to do, maybe it's that you need to take incremental steps. It may be that you're not asked to do everything right now. It may be that you're just willing to commit to do something different, to take a step of faith and a leap of faith. And so that's all I have for you all today. It is 24 minutes in. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, leave them below. Don't forget to visit essenceofme.com. Look for the blog post. It's going to be called Christmas in July. and you can go there and figure out where to follow or where to join, and we will move on from there. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I will be back the first Sunday of July. Actually, let me look right now because July is a holiday month. Oh, we're good. It's July 2nd. We'll be back July the 2nd. If anything changes, I'll make an announcement on my channel or on my blog and make sure that I post everywhere else so that you all know. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing what you all have going on. And let me know in the comment section whether you picked quilting, knitting, or crochet. I'll talk to you all hopefully sooner than later. Take care and goodbye.